Okay, let's go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Probation Officer's Perspective. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that notification bell to all so you'll be notified of all the new content that I'm pushing. And for all you supporters out there, subscribers, I want to thank you for all your support. Without you, I wouldn't keep doing what I do. I would have gave up a long time ago. I think I mentioned that before. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now, normally I don't do reaction videos, and well, I don't think I've ever really done like some of these content creators do. But today, I saw this video of Wes Watson. And I felt like I saw it, so I clicked on it. You know, I saw the thumbnail, I clicked on it, and I thought, was Wes Watson actually humbling himself? I mean, because all he does is go around and brag about all his cars and how much money he has. And you know what I mean? And so many people do videos on him. That's why I don't like to do videos on him, or that I've never done one before. But in this video, it felt like, wow, I think he's getting it, you know, because all he normally does, and everybody knows this, is he screams and he cusses and he yells at people on his videos, and he yells at people. And that's the way he feels like he's motivating people. But then when I saw this video, I'm like, I got to watch it. So it starts out where Wes is actually, I felt like maybe he's getting it. He's humbling himself. He's not doing what he normally does and talk about he's the 1% of men out there. The rest are all, you know, just trash or whatever he says, because you're not Wes Watson and you don't do what he does, and you don't drive a Bugatti that says convict on it, and in his his Royce and all his other vehicles and his big huge house. And what's missing out of that house? Every time he does his videos, he's done walk-arounds in his video, it's empty. I would rather live in a studio apartment, let's say, with somebody that I love, a family, and be poor, than live in some huge house that you're paying rent on. You have all this money, you don't buy a house, you rent a house or lease a house. And inside, you know, he's miserable because it comes out when he talks. What his deal is he wants to putting everyone else down is his way of making himself feel better. So let's get into the video. And like I said, I'm going to make myself smaller here. And we'll get into this video and see what Wesley has to say here. Because again, I saw the thumbnail. I clicked on it. I watched it. Normally I don't watch his videos. I mean, I remember when he first started out, I think I watched a couple, and here and there I've watched some. And all he's doing is screaming, cussing, and yelling all the time, and about how great he is and how much money he has and just everything. But, you know, let's get into this, and then I'll stop and when I feel like I need to stop, because if you know Wes Watson, then you know what it's about.
Horrendous times in my life, and I've learned to find flow state in the most difficult of moments. This is what I want to teach you with this video, is how to induce flow state and why flow state is a gift from God when you're acting in accordance with your conscience.
You ever notice that he spits when he talks? I realized that. I mean, I've watched before, but I just saw that coming out of his mouth, and I'm like, wow, he spits when he talks. And then he always closes his eyes like he's falling asleep. But let's keep going here.
Let me break this down for you. Your conscience is the authentic voice of God. Your conscience will lead you to perfect alignment. When you're in perfect alignment, your thoughts, actions, and energy aligned with the outcome you want and the outcome you're being guided with from above, you will be granted flow state.
Okay, so I believe in God, and God comes from the heart. You have faith. You have faith in God, and it's the faith. Your faith is in your heart, your mind, your whole body. And he's talking about aligning and your conscience. And what he's talking about, and what's really is not making sense, because I mean, he's talking about God and he believes in God. I mean, he doesn't say it, but he's saying it in so many words, and and look at his tattoo. He has a tattoo of Jesus on his bicep. I think it says blessed right there on the crease of his elbow. He has the Virgin Mary on his forearm. I believe that he believes in God, but he definitely does not adhere to what God wants for him or anybody else, or for everybody, in the world. And we'll keep going, because he's talking about this alignment and things. That's a different thing. But he's humbling himself. He's not screaming and he's not cussing. So let's keep going. Let's see where this goes.
When you're granted flow state, you don't notice time as it passes by.
Sorry to stop it again, but see, his eyes are always closed. That's crazy. Look at that. Anyway, flow state. Okay. Never heard of flow state in the Bible. Never heard of it. I've never heard anybody talk about flow state in church, or anybody I know. Nobody has talked about flow state. So I'm curious as to his beliefs here.
This is the definition of inner peace: not noticing time as it passes by. Why would a prisoner have found this? Because time is the most painful aspect of prison. Time is the most painful aspect for you guys out here as well. I don't give a fuck what you're going through. Financial difficulties, a breakup, or your life is just miserable, or you're living day to day chasing vices like drugs and alcohol, to where every moment can be just the most devastating and detrimental time of your life, because you're going from, fuck, I need this fixed, but I know.
Okay, so he's talking. See, he's humbling himself. He's trying to control himself, but he starts with the fuck, the F-bomb, the fuck, and talking like that. And anyone who's a Christian or and they're trying to get this message, that he's trying to get this message out to everybody. Okay, all his subscribers or anybody who clicks on his video, he's trying to. And I thought he was humbling himself, but when you're talking about God and then you're talking about this flow state and these other things, and then he starts with the F-bombs, you know what I mean? That's not being on the same level.
I don't want to conduct myself this way anymore. You're at odds with your conscience. Someone wrote a comment in one of my posts a while ago, and they said, if you're not wrestling with your conscience, you're not favored by God. Oh my fuck, that hit hard.
Okay, here comes the real Wes. It's coming out. He started out with a good message, and for him, like I said, he's humbling himself. He's not screaming right now. He is cussing, but he's not screaming it about stuff or putting people down. And anyone who's read the Bible or is a Christian or whatever your faith is, in the Bible it states that you do not worship the money. You do not worship money or material things. And that's one of his drawbacks. And that is he worships money. He worships all the things he has. And and you're not supposed to brag about what you do have, the blessings God has blessed you with. You're not supposed to brag about like materialistic things, because material things mean nothing. So I just wanted to say that.
Because I've been teaching you guys for a long time now that your conscience is the authentic voice of God. Now, we need to get you in alignment. So what you're going to do is first remove everything that causes regret. Everything that causes regret in your life has to go. Is it multiple women that you're speaking to? Is it drugs or alcohol? Is it the overconsumption of food? You cannot connect to God if your plate is still full. You have to be in a sacrificial state. You cannot have the plate stacked and believe this conversation is going to take place. He does not favor that.
All right. Now, again, look at him. He's sleeping. His eyes are closed every time. Now he's talking. He's starting to get in that West mode again. Or, about shaming people. Saying, if you have a drug or alcohol addiction, or you're battling with that, if you're eating too much, he talks about food, and then you can't be aligned with God. And that's so far from the truth. You know what I mean? All you have to do is give your life to God and believe that his son Jesus gave his life for all of our sins. He gave the ultimate sacrifice. And you don't shame people, and he's shaming people. Or he's starting again. You know what I mean? This is how that goes. So I really thought he was humbling himself when I started watching this video. And then he starts getting into the Old West.
Remove everything that you regret. Regret's your guideline first. Then you step in the mirror and you see what needs to change for the better. Not just removal, but what actions need to take place for you to elevate yourself and become a worthy vessel, a worthy advocate of this message from above. Now,
again, I hate to stop it, but what he was just talking about is you ask God, because nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. And when you, it's not looking yourself in the mirror and he's going to get, I know you can, see where he's going with this. All you have to do is ask God to come into your life and give yourself to him. And it doesn't matter if you eat too much or you don't work out every single day, or, you know what I mean, do a 2,000 push-ups or whatever, and drive a Bugatti and you know, Rolls Royce and McLaren and whatever all he's got, and live in a big house, empty house, just for the clout. But okay, I'm gonna let him talk.
Once you're conducting yourself in this way throughout your day, forget your job, forget all your other shit. That's the sensory world activities that you engage in. I'm talking about the underlying stuff, everything that's going on within you. And when you meet another individual, this connection you have, what's brought to the surface. So when we're talking flow state, the two things that will keep you in a state of flow at all times is peak physical performance and becoming the source of what you seek.
Peak physical performance. That's what he said is the number one. Again, show me that in the Bible, Wes, where it says you have to be, your body is your temple, and you're supposed to eat healthy, eat a certain way, but it doesn't say anything about what he's trying to, the message that he's pushing. I just wanted to see, like, is he really humbling himself? But he's got this message so wrong that he's throwing out there to people. But I'm going to keep letting him talk.
Peak physical performance. During an intense workout, no negative state can coexist during peak physical performance. It just can't happen. It's never happened. You're not going hard enough if it fucking is. Next is becoming the source of what you seek. Throughout my day, every day, all I do is work out crazy to put myself in flow or help people the rest of the time. Like I said the other day on my Instagram, I don't even get up and go straight into a workout anymore. I realize now, at the point in my fucking life right now, I wake.
All right, guys, here comes the real Wes Watson. You see it, you see the rage starting to come out. He cannot go. I've watched him, like I said, and he cannot go one whole, I think this is what, 5, 6, 7 minute video. He can't even go 7 minutes without talking shit or cussing and telling you in whatever he's talking about, because it's so untrue. What people back in the day were lifting weights every day from the time they got up, and they just had money flow coming, you know, they had no money worries. No, they worked hard for what they had. And I'm not saying he didn't work in his own, you know, way, but I believe his way is a hustle. He's a hustler, and he hustles his money. And yeah, that's work, but it's not the kind of work that you're supposed to be doing. You know, what if he had to do a real job like most people do and go work 12 hours a day or 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day? You know what I mean? He couldn't hack it, because all he does is go to the gym all day and hang out with his buddies and go to dinner. And he always shows his videos going to dinner. I don't know if it's on his IG or, yeah, it's mainly on his IG. He does that stuff. But all right, let's let him talk.
Wake up and go straight into messages of people reaching out for help. You guys may not have that luxury. And yes, I call it a luxury because I am saved from myself every time I assist somebody else. I am saved from the dialogue within that is just straight tormenting to most people. If you don't wrestle with your
and here he goes, man. He's getting ready. He can't do it for 5 minutes. This is a 5-minute video or 6-minute video. He cannot do it. It's crazy. And he just can't do it. And he starts out good. And I really thought, okay, maybe he's gonna humble himself this time. He's way off the board, and then he's starting to freak out. I just don't get him.
You're not favored by God. So if you're not understanding why some people fight demons, it's because you're not there yet. You still have a lot to learn before you're ever going to be favored from the man above. He works with the people who've been through some real shit, and you just haven't yet. Okay? So he's letting you go. He's letting the rope get long, letting you go hang your motherfucking self. Because you will. You just haven't yet. That's why you don't understand people who have. Once you've looked for happiness in the same place you lose it so often that you've actually destroyed your life and hit rock bottom, then you'll know. But until then, most of you guys are actually too pussy to hit rock bottom. That's why you'll never be a good entrepreneur or anything else either.
See what I'm saying? He goes right back to himself. He talks about God, and then he talks about every day he wakes up and there's people messaging him asking for help. You know what the help is that he gives? It costs money. $3,000, $10,000, $5,000. I've heard all kinds of different numbers that he charges. Probably depends on what you want. But part of being, how Wes puts it, aligned with God, or having God in your life and living by those values, is everything that he would be giving, whether it be knowledge or advice or help, as he calls it, free. It wouldn't cost money to do that if you were what he calls aligned with God, in which I call walking in faith. If you're walking with God in faith, then you're doing things for free. You're helping people for free because that's what you do as a Christian, as someone who believes in God and answers to God. Like he's stating that he does, but he has a totally different, I don't know where he got his message from, but you see how he's starting to call the names, pussy this and left that. I just, it blows me away.
You won't be good at anything because you can't even go to failure. You won't be good at building muscle. You won't be good at making money. You won't be good at a lot of shit because you don't redline.
And again, what does building muscle, working out, being an entrepreneur have anything to do with your faith in God and your relationship with God? Absolutely nothing. And yes, people, sometimes people do have to hit rock bottom before they reach out to God. But not everybody does. No, you don't have to be on rock bottom to reach out to God and be saved or have a relationship with God. You don't have to hit rock bottom. You do not. And look, he looks like he's asleep again. But he talks about muscles. Okay, really? Show me in the Bible about that too. But I really thought he was humbling himself. But you see, the old West can't stop. He just has to let it out. To putting people down, like basically putting you down. He's trying to make it sound like he's talking to you and he's giving you a message, but his message is him. Because God doesn't care who you are, what you have, what you don't have. He will bless you, but in his own time and whatever it is, and however he blesses you in many, many ways. But the way Wes is talking, I don't know where he's getting his information from or what his relationship with God is. And I'm not saying he doesn't have one. I really thought he was going to humble himself. But as you can see, he's starting to freak out. Not major freak out like he's done in the past, but he's starting to. And he's starting to put people down and telling people that basically you're nothing unless you do what he does. And if you do what he does, then you can have a relationship with God. But don't believe that, because he's totally wrong. Pick up a Bible, read it, talk to other people that, you know, are in faith, and you'll see the message and what he's trying to put out. Now, his relationship with God is, everyone's is different. But
I'm telling you guys this. There's only two things. And why would we even know this? Think about back in the day, caveman days or early times. There was two things. There was intense, strenuous, motherfucking work all day, hunting, building fucking shelter. Everything a man had to do was it was just so intensely laborious that he never had a free moment. He was always doing something physical. So, peak physical performance, always doing something physical, no free time. And then what? Becoming the source of what you seek. Sitting down with his tribe or his people and sharing wisdom that he brings back from his day of work or hunting or whatever, what he was coming across inside of him. So until you learn to love the work, you'll never know love at all. And the work I'm talking about is the internal work that makes you the individual that can go guide others. Back to my same quote that I said, our life's purposes. Create the individual you admire and gift him to the world. There's only two things. There's the physical activities and the actions that create the man you admire, and then there's you gifting him to the world. I guess you guys just really don't see it the way I do because you haven't had money yet. You may think it's going to be the money. It does nothing. This is a byproduct of creating the individual you admire and giving him to the world. Everybody I know did that. Like every single person I know that's successful got good at something.
Wes, you see what I'm talking about? He's getting so off track. He's talking about what he has. Again, he says it's not about the money. Then it's about the money and about the wealth. And everybody that he knows, which is basically he's talking about the people, like I said, he doesn't do it as much on YouTube as he does on Instagram or IG, where you can watch, and he's always riding in his different vehicles and going to dinner and with his same friends, and they're all rich. But he's always talking about money. Money comes into play, being rich. And that's far from the truth, Wes. Come on, man. Quit lying to the people, Wes. Because it's all coming back to, it's all about Wes.
That they could share with others, and they shared it to the masses, and they killed it. You guys, there's nothing more than this. I know I get caught up lately sometimes in the hater shit and this and that, but those are the distractions that are being sent to you so that you don't work on this. And I'm just going to go back into these deeper topics, even if I deliver them way calmly. Sometimes I may come on turn. I'm not going to change the message, though. Today, this was the motherfucking message. If tomorrow the message is back, fuck these haters, and then the next day it's, oh, you got to love them, well, that's what I'm going through.
You see what I'm saying? Fuck the haters, and if that's the message, then the message... I'm trying to figure out what his message is, because his message doesn't make any sense. He tries to keep calm. I thought he was humbling himself for once, and he had a real good message. But the message is still the same. He just tries to start off slowly with his message, and then he starts getting pissed and starts raising his voice, starts name calling. And if you're not like him, basically you're never going to be anything, and you're not going to have a relationship with God, which is far from the truth. Don't believe that. That's, oh my gosh, this guy.
That's what I'm experiencing. I'm experiencing high and low frequency states due to misalignment and true alignment. When I'm truly aligned, you gotta love them. When I'm misaligned, I'm gonna kill them. Do you understand this? People might refer to that as bipolar. I call it high and low frequency.
With WES Watson, it's roid rage and bipolar. I mean, there's no high and low frequency. I don't know what the heck he's talking about with high and low frequency. He's talking some crazy shit here. You know what I mean? It does high and low frequency stuff, and he's on a whole nother level, and we already know that. But this message has got me just like, oh my God, what is the real message here? I mean, when you're talking, you're giving a message to people. If your message is to, hey, eat healthy, and you're sitting there with a meal plan and you're sharing it with everybody, and if you do this, and eat this certain way, and I'm going to share all this stuff with you for free. Okay, for free. To help you be healthy. No, that's not the way he puts it. He has to degrade you and do everything he has to do. And he can have all the money in the world, and he's still going to be sitting in that however many $1 million home that he leases or rents by himself. By himself. I mean, I think he has a girlfriend again now. But still, look at the size of that house. He even talks about, I watched one video where he goes through his house, and it's so big. There's rooms he says he's never even been in. Like, he's only seen them like once. And then I see him take his elevator instead of going up the steps. And I'm like, okay, but you're talking about working out and putting work in and all this stuff, but then you're going to take your elevator instead of taking the stairs. Anyways, let's keep going. He's only got about a couple minutes left.
You weirdos, the people who are believing.
See, there comes the name calling again. Weirdos, pussies. I mean, he cannot help himself. He starts out slow, calm, with a good message, and then he ends calling people weirdos and
Modern medicine and all this bullshit that doesn't do shit and is a bunch of fuckery lies so that you'll take their medicine. You guys have stupid names for all this shit. I'm fully aware when Wes is in a high frequency state, he's vibing high. There's nothing but gratitude, love, and enlightenment and connection to others. And I love the moment, no matter what's going on in my life in the sensory world. And then low frequency Wes, everything in the sensory world could be perfect. And I'll be fucking miserable. Because I chose to be at a low frequency due to my thoughts and actions. Do you guys get this? Please tell me you understand that life by now, you can get it, that it's just high frequency states and low frequency states. And your goal is to never define yourself again at that low frequency state of guilt and shame and fear and desire, and only define yourself at that high frequency state of love, enlightenment, and gratitude. Because that low frequency Wes is gonna happen, but that's not you. You notice it for what it is. Oh, that's not me. That's the low frequency version of me that sucks. It's borderline demonic possession. The high frequency version of me is me walking in direct alignment with the Lord above and Him guiding me to being my best. You simpleton fucks who will miss this message due to the person delivering it.
I don't know what to say. He just can't help himself. No, you simpleton fucks. I mean, he just cannot help himself. It blows me away. But he's talking about the alignment with God. And yeah, there's when he's talking about you got to get off, cannot go to this low frequency because of the state that it's in. You have to stay on the high. But then he talks about how he's just bipolar and roid rage. And that's why he screams and yells and can't control himself. But his message is, it's all over the place, man. I really was rooting for him that he was changing, but he started out at the beginning of the video, you see, and then you see where it's ending. All right.
I feel sorry for you. But guess what? Me and all my people will be there to guide you when you need it. Let's go!
All right. Me and my people will be there to guide you. And his people are, again, people that have money, people that are material things, and watch him. I mean, he does it on his YouTube channel, but his IG's more like he shows more on his IG, his stories and things like that. And he's always in his cars, and he's always meeting up with these other people that are bodybuilders or and that are rich and that have money and that are driving the same type vehicles that he's driving, going to the same expensive restaurants that he eats at. I think he had talked about before he doesn't even eat at home ever. So yeah, so much for Wes being the humble Wes. I was really rooting for him at the beginning. I was really rooting for him at the beginning when I started watching it. But I mean, you just can't write this shit. This guy is nuts. Yeah, he makes a buttload of money. When, Wes, tell us when, Wes, you have donated money. What charities did you donate to? Who have you helped? But I have not seen one video of him actually going out. Okay, so you got all this money and going and say, you know, talking to homeless people that's addicted to drugs, as he says, because he was addicted to drugs and he was, you know, back in his day. But where's he at with all his money, and what does he do for them? I'd love to see a video where, you know, he picks random people or, you know, anybody, and then takes them and goes and rents them an apartment, sets them up with a job. Since he's so, you know, he's got all this money, he helps so many people, but the people he helps, they pay him. They pay him. You guys already know this. They pay him. You know, if you want to talk to him, you have to pay him. Now, if any of you out there, leave a comment down below. If he helped you by you leaving a message on one of his lives, on his IG, whatever it may be, and asked him for help. I remember somebody on one of his lives asking, he threw a fit. He did a video and then he threw this in there that somebody was asking for help and they were asking for money. And I understand it's probably trolls or whatever, but you don't know that. But did he even ask, like, what's your situation? Well, how can I help you? You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to send you $50. Because, you know, look, you have a family and you lost your job and or whatever. And times are tough right now. You know, prices of everything is sky high. It's rough out there. You know, it's tough. And for him to not spread that wealth he has, he wants to spread his propaganda or his knowledge or whatever it is that he spreads on how to make money, but he's not willing to give up his money to help anybody. And if anybody's got a story or a video or a link, put it down in my comments, because I'd love to see where he goes out there and goes to St. Jude's Hospital, Children's Hospital, and goes and visits these kids that are very terminally ill or sick, and donates to that hospital or any other kind of hospital, or goes to homeless people that, look, anyone can fall at any time. You know, you could have everything and lose it all. You could have a house, a family, a wife, kids, and a snap of a finger, you know what I mean, and a good job, and lose your job, and then everything else falls apart, and then before you know it, you're on the street and you're by yourself, or maybe you have your family for a little while. And I want to see videos where he's going out and actually helping people, instead of talking about helping people where you have to pay him to help, and yelling and cussing and screaming at him, and actually having a normal conversation. You know what I mean? And I know he doesn't watch people when they do reactions videos, so I'm not ever going to see any reaction from him on this video, but I would love to see him react to this video and show me everything and all the people that he's helped, or have a normal conversation with me. You know what I mean? And it'll never happen. But anyways, guys, I just thought that I mean, like I said, I don't normally do these type videos, but the thumbnail on this video that he had, I don't even remember what it was. And then when I clicked it and then I started to watch it, I'm like, oh my gosh, Wes is actually humbling himself. And then you see where it went. He can't help himself. He's not going to change. He cannot help himself. His ego is so huge, and he cannot not talk about his money, or he cannot not put people down and cuss at them or call them names and whatever it is. And if he thinks that's the way you get things done, he's got it sadly mistaken. Anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that notification bell to all, so you'll be notified of all the new content that I'm pushing. And with that, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace.